and welcome to DIY for TV, presented by New York Design Shop. Today we are going to be making a studded and spiked turban. For this project you will need one men's XL tee in black or the color of your choice, a ruler, assorted studs in silver, either chalk or a paint marker to make marks on the fabric, needle and thread, and an inspiration picture to guide you. This project is inspired by designer Jennifer Bear, who made this awesome studded and spiked turban that retails for about $500. We're going to make it for under $10. The first step is to measure out our fabric. Now we're using a men's t-shirt because it's just much easier and it's nice and stretchy and soft, so it'll be a great material for the turban. Now our rectangle that we're going to use is going to be 8 inches by 24 inches. So I'm just going to make my mark at 8 inches there, and I pre-measured this way, knowing that I can get about 24 inches going right here. Now I'll measure my 8 inches over. And now here we have a rectangle that we're going to get ready to cut out. Now we're just going to go ahead and cut out the rectangle. I didn't draw the lines all the way along the fabric because it really doesn't need to be perfect, so I just made dots, and we're just going to go ahead and cut to connect the dots. As you can see, we're cutting through both layers of the t-shirt fabric because you want to end up with 2 rectangles of fabric. Now as you can see, we removed the excess fabric and we're left with our 2 rectangles, which is just perfect. So what we're going to do is fold them in half as shown, like that, and we're just going to pin the ends together because we're going to sew this part. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin in a couple spots. Since it's stretchy fabric, it kind of rolls, but that's okay. We now have both pieces pinned, so what we're going to do, you have 2 options here. You can either use a sewing machine or hand stitch. I'm a big fan of hand stitching. I think it's peaceful and relaxing, so I like to do it. But if you have a sewing machine, it would be really quick. You just do a straight stitch all the way down here on both pieces. So I'm just going to go ahead and start my hand stitching at the very end. Close off that corner. And then from there you just hand stitch all along. So now that I have sewn, we've sewn the inside, we're going to turn it inside out on both strips. Now we have our 2 strips. Feel free to cut off any loose threads. And then we're going to cross one over the other. We're going to fold these 2 together. This is from the piece that's under. We're going to fold these 2 together, and I'm just going to go ahead and stick a straight pin in to attach them, just for now. We're going to eventually sew those 2 ends together. And now we're going to, do the same thing with the other side. We're going to put the ends together, and I'm going to pin it. There we go. So now that you have your 2 sides pinned together, you just want to make sure that they're lined up nicely. What we're going to do is we are going to take one side and hold it like this, and then we're just going to cover the other side just about a ½ inch overlap, just like that. I'm going to keep my hand underneath, and I'm going to pin the sides together because we're just going to sew this all together in one big whoop. So we pin that side. Now, like I said, about a ½ inch to an inch. Pin this side. The pins are in place, everything is all together, so now what I'm going to do is just start from the inside, and we're going to hand stitch all along. I'm going to go down, over, up, and around, so we have a little rectangle of stitches. We want to make sure that they're really secure, tight stitches. You might even want to go around twice. Or again, this is a good spot for if you have a sewing machine, you might want to use that. We have about 4 to 8 layers of fabric here, so it's going to be pretty hefty, but it's going to come out great in the end. So as you can see, we finished sewing all around here so that we've got all of our pieces together. Now we're going to flip it over, and here we have our turban. and you can kind of separate the pieces a little bit to make it wider or thinner depending on how you like it. But now what we're going to do is pull some studs. We have studs in all different shapes and sizes. We wanted to use all different silver studs. We've got mini, medium, large pyramid studs. We've got round pointed studs, and we've got regular round circle studs. So we are just going to go to town on this and stud all along the sides. So I'm ready to start studding my turban. Now I've got it all set to go right here, and I just pulled a bunch of different studs that I'm going to use. So what I'll do is I'm going to take a round pointed stud to start, and I've got my inspiration picture here just in case, and I'm going to go ahead, stick the stud through. See the prongs right there, and I'm going to fasten them with my nails, but you could always use a plier or fingertip or scissor. We've been over this before. So there is our first stud. These round pointed ones are good for this particular project, but I'm just going to use all different ones. You're going to continue studding until the entire thing is covered. You only need to do the top layer, and what I mean by layer, I'll show you in a second after I fasten this stud, is here you have your 2 layers. So we're just going to go ahead and stud the top layer, and that way it'll protect you from, just in case any prongs pop out, but also, which they won't, but it also will be good because you could always make it thicker by pulling it down a little bit or whatever. But we're just going to go ahead and keep studding until we get all the way around, which we're getting there. As you can see, here's the back of our turban so far. So we're almost done. We have now finished studding our turban, so I tried it on and it is totally rad. We're really excited about it, and it was super easy to make, so I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and we'll see you next time on DIY4TV.